and create another tab and put part 1, Brave Souls Wanted. Part 1, Brave Souls Wanted. Now I'm going to put this in 2 spots. I like to have all of my modules kind of organized where everything is nice, neat in a row, and I'm going to put this right at the bottom. I'm going to bold it. That way I can just go right to part 1. Alright, now that I'm done with that, I just hit the lock button and I'm done. Piece of cake. Part 1 is done. Now, also on the main story tab, because remember, here's the main story tab, I want to take part 1, Brave Souls Wanted, and put it up here too. We'll put that up there. And we will also bold this. So part 1 is basically all of the information on the adventure as you're in basically the area that you're plugging this adventure into. And part 1 has, all the hooks, negotiating for exploring the tomb, the adventure hooks, and this piece of art for the entrance to the tomb. I wouldn't put this in part 1. I would wait till part 2, which is actually exploring the tomb. So I would save this image for part 2. But what I would do is I would take this gypsy here, which is Galena Illimasi, and I would take her image that I've already got uploaded, and I would put her image with the text for that gypsy. So Galena Illimasi. And here is basically public text that would be read aloud to all the players. So I would also put this in a like a text or a chat bubble as well. So let's go ahead and do part 1. As you can see, it's on different layers as well. So you just kind of have to be careful with the PDFs and figure out what layer the text is on. So, alright, so I'm going to go do this really quick, and when I come back I'll have this part 1 all set up for you. See you in a couple minutes. Alright, so all of the line breaks have been taken out of part 1, Brave Souls Wanted. I've got everything separated, everything in its own paragraph. I've got everything bolded. I've got all of the headers on there, and I want to show you guys what I'm going to do here with the narration text. Now, as you can see, after the first paragraph in Brave Souls Wanted, there is a narrated box of text where you start the adventure. So this would be starting with the combination of the desert sun beating down on you. So it's the second paragraph. So when we want to put something in a narrative or like a text bubble box, you just right click on the entire paragraph, go to the paragraph types, and then click on the T here with the box around it for chat frame. And it's literally, guys, it is as simple as that. I mean, it is a piece of cake. Now remember, for a header, we want to make sure that we right click on what we want to put as a header and basically click heading. Alright, now I've bolded their names, and remember, we have an image of Mrs. Galena Illimasi. So I want to open up my images, and I want to take this Galena Illimasi image that we have, and I want to take this and put it right here for easy access. So you can see, whenever we're going through the adventure, they meet the NPCs. Hey, here's an image of Galena Illimasi. You do this, you just click on it, right click it, share it to all the members of the party, and voila, they can see what Galena looks like. So, piece of cake. You utilize all of the art that's in the PDF, and your players will appreciate that. Believe me, they really will. Now I've got everything else finished. We've got everything with negotiating and adventure hooks. As you can see, I've also bolded everything that needed to be bolded. And like I said, to bold, you just highlight what you want to bold and hit Control B. It's as simple as that, guys. Now, to keep everything nice and organized, to go to part 2. Part 2 is called Exploring the Tomb. So this is where all of the rooms are going to be. So now that I went ahead and I made another journal page on our story tab, and it is called Part 2, exploring the tomb. So let's go ahead and click on that. As you can see, now it is all totally empty, and now it's just rinse and repeat, guys. You just continue to do all of this. Now this room, now let's take a look here. Now remember, we've got our image from before for the entrance, so I'm going to utilize that image at the beginning of this as you're in the causeway and you're exploring the tomb. So we'll utilize that image. And there's also how many rooms here? There are, it looks like a total of 10 rooms here. So what I'll do is I will literally make 10, I will make basically 10 more journal pages. Yeah, it looks like there's 4, 4A, 4B, 8, 6, 10. And we're gonna, and I'm gonna worry about doing journal number 8 next, because I want to put the map in there. I want to also put our loot parcel in there, our encounter. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that next. So let me go ahead and I'm going to make some journal entries. Basically the way it's going to look is when you click on part 2, exploring the tomb, it is going to have the introduction like it does in the PDF. All right, and then it's going to have 1, 2, 2A, 2B, all the way down to 10, where it'll stop, and then it'll go to the upper chambers, but we won't worry about that. We're just going to label this, get this nice and organized, and then we'll take a look at 8. So let me get all of the journal pages made for rooms 1 through 10, and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, so I took a couple minutes, probably about 2 or 3 minutes, and did part 2. Part 2 turned out really, really nicely. Now, as I was mentioning in the PDF, we're going to get this separated more into room numbers, as in instead of just a straight wall of text all the way down. So the exploring the tomb pretty much left that the same, as you can see here, and then I added the entrance to the tomb. I added that image there so you can show your players. Then I went ahead and I added the entire map of the lower level map of the Tomb of Tiberish, and I left that here. Now I also want to show you how to, once you have your map up, there's really no reason to even keep this up anymore. I mean, you can minimize this. You can right click it and minimize and put the little minimize token down here, but there's really no need, because once you have this map up, we can just basically embed all of the different rooms, and as you can see, after the map and the entrance, I basically made journals for every single room to make it nice and organized. So what I mean by linking this up is this. Now you can drag and drop each entry into its corresponding area. Really cool. Like room for 1 example, you just take the red dragon, drag it, and boom, it puts a pin there. That way, when you open up the tomb, after you show them the image, you open up room 1, bam, there's everything that has to do with room 1. Then you go to room 2, bam, there's room 2. Room 2A, bam. So everything is nice and neat and organized, and you can move these, you can put these pins anywhere that you want. Room 3, I mean, here's room 3. I mean, you just keep going and going and going, and here's room 8. This is what I want to show you. So here's room 8. You would pop this up. Here's all of the text. Here's the text that you would read to your players as they, Munchkin style kick in the door, and boom, there's the 4 grave robbers, being the 3 gnolls and the Gnoll Pack Lord. So let's go ahead and add our encounter and our loot parcel in here. Remember, previously in the video we already made our encounter and we made the loot parcel. So go to your NPCs, then remember it's in the encounters tab, and then your lower tomb room 8. This is exactly where we're at. Bam, there's the encounter. Now for the items, remember, go to your parcels. After you click items, go to parcels, and there's lower tomb room 8. Piece of cake. And then you just highlight those. You B for bold them if you want to, bold them, or you can even change the, you could change the text form. We'll put loot parcel here, and then we'll put Gnoll encounter. How about that? And it does not change the chat. It does not change the text in the parcel box for the loot or for the encounter. So it's really nice, guys. And once you have the encounter, so you now have this set up, because remember, previously we placed the tokens on the map and everything. So you would just basically just click this open. You don't have to go into the NPCs. You don't have to open anything, guys. Everything is right here in front of you, and that's the beautiful thing about setting it up this way. And then remember, to generate, you just open up your combat tracker, upper right hand corner, and you would just hit the add encounter to combat tracker. You hit that, boom, it adds the tokens. It already rolls the initiative for them. They're here. They're on top of the G's, but you just hit the eyes, bam, they show up. We're ready to rock. The players move in. They see the gnolls. Nobody's surprised. Well, in fact, maybe the gnolls may be surprised if the party goes up and does some kind of perception check for any kind of sound or anything. So there you go. That's how you set this up, guys. I mean, it is as simple as that, and it is just rinse and repeat. Adding all of the data is the last thing, and as you can see, this is so fast to do. It literally took me maybe a minute to, once everything, all the legwork was done, all the maps were already uploaded. Can you imagine trying to do all this as you're going? That would be a total pain in the ass. So get everything imported first, get your encounters built, get all of the encounters on the map, get all the items and the loot parcels, get all that stuff built, so when you're entering all of your data onto your, however the way you want to present the module to yourself, you just drag and drop this stuff onto the journal pages. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, this is the whole entire team, and this is about as nice and neat and organized as you can get. So, and it would just continue on to part 3 and then part 4 of the module. So I think I've showed you guys enough to how to create a module. So let's go ahead and go to the very final part, and I'm going to show you guys how to export this and then load it into your Fantasy Grounds 5e campaign. So thank you guys. Be right back. Alright, so we're totally done. We've created our module. Our images are uploaded, our tokens are in, our encounters are built, everything is done. So now we want to export this into a .mod file. And to do that, you would just want to go into the chat box down here and type in /export. And when you do that, it is going to pull up a module export pop-up. And what you're going to want to do is, type in all the pertinent information. This is the Tomb of Tiberish. Alright. And then we'll put 5e in parentheses to make sure we know that this is 5e. Now we want to put the thumbnail in there, and to put the thumbnail in there, just go into the Fantasy Grounds, and I want to use this the module cover that I actually had. So we'll go into campaigns, we'll go into the Tomb of Tiberish, we'll go into the images, and there we go. So now it will pull that up, and the name will put the Tomb of Tiberish again, which we'll just kind of drop that in there. And category, we'll put Dungeons and Dragons 5e. Author, Kobold Press wrote this, so we'll put Kobold Press. Merge ID, have no clue what that does. And this is the important thing, guys. You want to make sure you click all of these buttons. This is all of the information that you're going to be exporting into that mod file. And when you do that, it takes all the images, all the tokens, everything, every bit of data, and it basically encodes it and puts it into that mod file. So make sure you have everything checked, and then you want to make sure that you put all the exported tokens in here too, because if you don't put the tokens in here that you used, they will not show up in the mod file. So open up your NPCs, and you will take The tokens, well, you'll just take these and just kind of the tokens and just kind of drop them in there. Sorry about that. So you take that token, open up the null pack lord, and then you drop that in there, and then there you go. There's your 2 tokens. All right. Now once you have all of that done, just hit export, and voila, the module exported successfully. Now to find this mod is pretty easy. Now we'll just go ahead and back on out of this. We'll go back to the launcher. All right. So you're going to want to open up the data folder, and it's on the startup screen. So in the top right hand corner, click on this folder and you'll be able to find the data folder. Alright, so here's the folder. Go to modules, and when you go to modules, look for your module. It'll be in there somewhere. There is a bunch of stuff in here, so let's see. There it is, the Tomb of Tiberish. That is your module, and that's it. One more thing, your campaigns. Remember, you created this with a campaign, the Tomb of Tiberish 5e. I called it the master file. Now, I didn't fully finish this. I just put a couple rooms in there. Now, when I go back and finish this, I will just go back, start the game, load a campaign, and I'll go ahead and click on Tomb of Tiberish. I'll enter all of the other rooms, all of the other information, and then I'll export the file again and export all of the new tokens that I'm going to use, because there's a couple mummies in there, a couple were jackals and stuff. So if you can always modify that mod file, and every time you export it, just make sure you hit those little radial buttons. Check that information, because I've actually forgotten a couple times when it's been real early, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I forget to check those buttons, and then I'm going, what did I do wrong? So don't forget to check those buttons. Alright guys, so now once you're in your campaign, you're going to want to do the same thing as you would, activating any other module that you bought from Fantasy Grounds, or activating the Player's Handbook, or DMG, or whatever. So let's go into my 5e campaign now, and when it gets done starting up, I will show you what to do. Alright, now that Fantasy Grounds is reloaded, let's go ahead and activate this module. And what we're going to want to do is go to our library and open up our modules, and then now we'll look for the cover of the Tomb of Tiberish, because remember, we put that actual art to the cover, and there it is, voila. And look, there's a little token bag attached and all that stuff. So our Tomb of Tiberish 5e is ready to go, and we just open it up, let it go, and remember, all of our information is in the story tab. And hey, looky here, here's our green tab with the sword, remember? And there's our main story. Voila! The Tomb of Tiberish. There's the art. Here's for the GM. All of the information is just like it was on the part 1. Then part 1 goes on to part 2. It has all of our maps. It has all of our images. It has everything to the way that we left it in the campaign. So there you go, guys, and there's our map. It still has everything memorized from all of the tokens being on it for the encounters and all that stuff. So there's room 8 that we had done with the information, the loot parcel, and there you go, guys. Piece of cake, isn't it? Doesn't really take too much time to make a module. But like I said, guys, it is a little bit time consuming, but the more you do it, the faster you're going to get, and the more efficient you're going to get. So you can pump these up pretty quickly. I can probably do this entire Tomb of Tiberish if I wasn't doing this tutorial in probably about an hour and a half. I mean, it's only about 26 pages, so I mean it's pretty quick. It'd be about an hour and a half to 2 hours, somewhere around there. So but well, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that helped you out. Guys, feel free to thumbs up this, guys. Also, if you enjoy what you see, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. Got it under. The old video was 3.5 hours, but this one is just a little bit over an hour. So, alright guys, thanks again, and until next time, happy gaming.